Welcome to Uncaged Zootours. If you are new to the channel and love animals, I recommend and appreciate hitting the like and subscribe buttons and the bell icon to join me on my tours. Another zoo is coming to the channel, and a new zoo means more animals. Welcome, my friends, to the North Carolina Zoo. Considered by zoo fans to be the world's largest zoo, it has a ton to offer. There are just eventually 5 continents, but those are divided into smaller sections. There are 5 sections in North America and 5 in Africa. They will also be adding an Asian section sometime in 2026. By the way, everything is so far apart that it takes around 6 miles to walk through the entire zoo.
I could use all that. I really need to catch up on my exercise.
Good point. All that walking is great exercise. It also has America's largest chimpanzee troop, one of the largest elephant complexes in the world, and one of America's 3 desert domes. But our first adventure will be the Cypress Swamp and the Rocky Coast. Both areas opened in 1994, with most of the North American section. We'll meet a century-old snapping turtle, meet some of the zoo's rarities, and even see a bear that I've always wanted to talk about. Let's begin. Just beyond the North American entrance. That was the longest intro I've ever done. Into the swamp we go. Another reason why this zoo is unique is because of how much artwork there is, like this cougar sculpture. One of the first animals you might think of when it comes to swamps is the American alligator. Like I said in episode 29, American alligators can be found all around the South. And they've been around for 245 million years. But alligators were hunted from the 1800s all the way to the mid-1900s for their skins for leather. By 1967, the American government listed the gator as an endangered species. Over the next 20 years, the government made gator hunting illegal. They also created breeding farms to help regrow the reptile's population. And by 1987, the American alligator was off the endangered species list. Now there are over 1 million American alligators all over the South. The alligator's next door neighbor is one of the zoo's oldest residents. Say hello to Maximus, the alligator snapping turtle. These turtles can stay still for so long that algae can grow on their shells. Besides, this turtle can hold its breath for 45 minutes before coming up for air. Alligator snapping turtles can live from 11 to 45 years, but Maximus has been around since 1900. If I did the math, Maximus would be around 122 years old. In the next terrarium is a Carolina gopher frog. Like a warthog that moves into an aardvark burrow, the gopher frog can move right into a gopher tortoise's burrow and make it home. Despite this, it can be hard for them to avoid the eastern hognose snake. This snake is not venomous to humans, but they love to eat amphibians for lunch. They have special teeth with modified venom that can be used to grab a frog and swallow it whole. I didn't see the eastern indigo snake, but I did see something that's right outside. Welcome to my channel, Cougars Heath and Olive. Cougars are also known as pumas, panthers, mountain lions, and catamounts. For some reason, I saw cougars sleeping on my previous tours, but these two were really active. How's the bath coming along? Good? Cougars aren't picky eaters. They can hunt almost anything, from a mouse to an elk. But cougars also have very dense fur to help them survive the freezing winter. Like all predators, cougars are very important to the environment. Without them, there would be way too many herbivores, and all the plants would be eaten, causing the entire ecosystem to go out of whack. To avoid this problem, there needs to be enough space for predators and prey. In the case of the cougars, they need 25 square miles each. I guess that's why animals fight over territory. No one wants to share. Good point. The swamp eventually flows into this marsh. It's so relaxing because it feels like you're out on a lake and you can see tons of native wildlife. Dress up warm, my friends. We're heading north to part 2. Here we are. Our first Arctic animal is Ronan the harbor seal. I heard this exhibit also had sea lions at one point, but one passed away and the other was transferred. Because of this, Ronan is a lone seal. Unlike most seals, harbor seals are solitary, and the only time you can see them together is when it's time to mate. Compared to sea lions, harbor seals don't have ear flaps or hind legs that help them walk on land. But thanks to their torpedo-shaped body and powerful flippers, the seal can swim gracefully through the water. The seal's back flippers push them forward, while the seal's front flippers provide steering. In the back of the seal exhibit is someone that's rather prickly. Meet Rhyme, the North American porcupine. As I said in episode 17, the North American porcupine has barbed quills, and pulling them out can be hard. And when they're threatened, muscles cause the quills to stand up, making them easier to detach from the rodent's body. But if it gets hit by its own quills, the porcupine has a topical antibiotic that can be used as a last resort. I also learned from Rhyme's keeper why the zoo's TV show Secrets of the Zoo North Carolina was cancelled. I was told that the show was affecting the staff's jobs. Just beyond the porcupine are more works of art and another view of the seal. Is everyone still dressed warmly? Yeah, man! There's also a timer that shows how long you can breathe underwater. The next stop is a little place I like to call Seabird Cliffs, home to a party of horned puffins. Like penguins, they're highly social as they nest together on cliffs. But puffins can also fly by jumping off a cliff or by racing across the water for takeoff. Puffins can also swim 131 feet below the surface to find some seafood. With that colorful beak, they can grab up to 10 fish in one trip. But some puffins in Britain were reported to hold up to 62 fish. The puffins also live with orange and yellow, the only thick-billed Murres in captivity. Like all alcids, Murres can dive underwater for their food, thanks to their thin wings. Thick-billed Murres can stay underwater for 3 minutes. Murres also spend their time taking care of their chicks on chilly and steep cliffs. Finally is Squirt, the only parakeet auklet in captivity. Are they extinct? Don't worry, parakeet auklets aren't extinct. They're least concern. Parakeet auklets have big feet that help them steer through the water. Unlike their roommates, Parakeet auklets live alone or in pairs. Their beak is designed to catch slippery jellyfish and shrimp. There is a pretty good reason why Squirt is the last auklet in captivity. This zoo once had a lot of auklets, but like I said, they were the only place to display these birds. As a result, the staff couldn't transfer the auklets to other zoos, and they decided to let the auklet flock disperse. That, and the staff couldn't take any auklets from the wild. You could also learn about these seabirds from this display. Outside is a bear we'll get to in a minute, but next door are Kaniki and Rizzo, the channel's first Arctic foxes. Unlike most foxes, Arctic foxes don't hibernate. Instead, they rely on thick fur that keeps them nice and warm. But this fur changes depending on the season. The fox's fur is white during the winter, while its fur is gray in the summer. Either way, it's perfect camouflage for hunting prey, plants, and berries. In their spare time, Arctic foxes live in a den with multiple entrances. The extra entrances help the fox escape from predators or the cold. The fox also needs a den that faces the sun, so the inside of the den can stay nice and warm. Then there's the Ice Cave. This 2014 expansion showcases a floor full of melting ice. I know it's not real, but I decided to play a little game of hopscotch. There's also a melting ice wall filled with pennies. Just beyond that are the channel's first polar bears. Polar bears are the world's largest land carnivores. Even though the bear's fur looks white, it's transparent, and underneath all that fur is black skin with a layer of fat. The fat helps the polar bear stay warm in icy Arctic oceans. A polar bear also has thick padded paws that act like snowshoes. They also have 5 non-retractable claws on their forepaws. The polar bear's claws act like fish hooks to help them grasp something. As big as a walrus or even an orca. The bear's claws are also great traction for running on ice. Speaking of ice, polar bears use the ice for hunting. The bear waits patiently for a seal to breathe and then uses its claws to snatch the seal for dinner. I'm really sorry for being preachy, but polar bears are endangered, with climate change being their biggest threat. In fact, polar bears are forced to move further south, increasing interactions with humans. Speaking of which, Churchill, Canada is the polar bear capital of the world. From July to November, polar bears migrate to Churchill to forage on trash and other small snacks. This means that the bears must share the same space since they are mostly solitary, aside from the mating season, or when females are raising their cubs. The zoo is currently home to 2 polar bears. There's male Peyton and female Anana. Well, that was our first look at the North Carolina Zoo.
Maybe we should see what's beyond the coast.
Beyond the coast are the Streamside and the Prairie. There's a friendly bobcat, the return of the North American river otter, black bears, grizzly bears, elk, red wolves, and even American bison. Today's question is, what are your favorite North American animals and why? As always, thank you for subscribing, and thank you for watching.